Chris, after missing yesterday's practice for some extra rest, Austin Matthews back on the ice this morning, and in case there was any concern that maybe he's not feeling good, he spoke to the media afterwards. He didn't have to do that, and he sounded pretty happy.
Yeah, happy and relaxed. That would be my sort of takeaways, is that, as we're looking here to see, are there signs, is there, any stress creeping into the Leafs room, at least from the time that we're in there. We haven't seen it yet heading into this Game 5. And I think in Austin Matthews' case, feels pretty good about where his line's been at. They haven't been scored at in this series at 5-on-5, obviously looking for maybe a little bit more of a breakthrough themselves there. And, he spoke a bit this morning just about, finding that line between making sure you're not giving anything up on your own end. And they're getting a lot of defensive starts, as he pointed out, and trying to push the pace at the other side. But, heading into what is a familiar thing for this Leafs group, the chance to close out a series, certainly the guy wearing the C and counted on to score a lot of goals for them, just seemed like it was a regular old game to him.
Craig Berube was asked how Matthews looked coming off the rest day, and he said, rested. And you got to laugh out of that. Listen, everyone could use a rest day in the playoffs. It's physical. In fact, here's the rally towel tonight. The Leafs wanting the fans to bring the grit, and they'd like to bring some more grit as well. They are dead last in hits thrown in the playoffs, the Maple Leafs. The Senators are second, and does that give Ottawa some hope here as they try and claw out of this 1-3 hole?
Well, that's what they're telling themselves, right? And look, the Senators didn't come to the arena today. They didn't skate before the game, and part of that, I think, is just to rest up their bodies and minds. And as you mentioned, they've had the edge in official logged hits in the series. It's been part of their DNA, and they see that as a deposit that they've been making through the series that they're hoping to cash out now. And so, I think it is part of certainly their identity. And we've seen Ottawa, I think, push the physicality a little bit more. Not to say Toronto's back down by any stretch, but Berube did acknowledge that they could arrive on time, as he said, a little bit more to put some of those indentations into their opponent. And look, this is part of playoff hockey. It's supposed to get harder as the series goes along. You want the bruises to sort of add up on the other side and to hopefully, basically back the opponent off when these games get very important.
Senators were fourth in hits in the regular season. Leafs were eighth. All right, let's get to goaltending. It's pretty clear the Senators are all in on Linus Ullmark. The Leafs, on the other hand, they rotated really much of the year between Anthony Stolarz and Joseph Woll. Stolarz coming off a loss. Statistically, it was his worst save percentage game of the season, but it doesn't feel like we're anywhere close to a goalie controversy in Toronto.
Certainly not, and I think it's because of how Anthony Stolarz really grabbed the reins down the stretch of the regular season and then starts this series with 3 straight wins. And so, when you add all that together, okay, he acknowledged himself. It wasn't his best night in Game 4. He wanted to be one save better, as he put it, in that game. But I think that his rope, kind of what he's built in as a buffer here before the coaching staff or anyone's looking to make a change is a little bigger than it was through most of the year. And again, that's, I think, an accumulation of what he's showing them down the stretch. It's also not a long list of teams that go into the playoffs on purpose playing 2 goalies. I mean, teams have certainly won a cup using 2 goalies, but it's generally not the plan. And so it's clear to me anyways that the Leafs' plan is to roll with Stolarz, but every game is more information, and perhaps depending on how it goes in Game 5, we might have a different conversation before the Leafs' next game.
Joseph Woll was back on the ice this morning after missing practice yesterday. He was feeling under the weather, so he will back up. It's not just the goaltending that Berube is feeling good about right now, it's the entire lineup. He sees no reason to change tonight, so David Kampf, Nick Robertson remain scratches.